After 10 seasons and over 13,000 yards, Walter Payton stands alone as the NFL's all-time leading rusher. But when it comes to pure running ability, the man at the head of the class is Jim Brown. Those who tried to stop him still speak in reverent tones.
Jimmy Brown was, without a doubt, the greatest football player ever put on a uniform. I mean, he could just do everything with it. And when you talk about tough, he was just tough because he was such a great talent that he could run with that football. He had great balance, he had great speed, and he had great size. At 235 pounds, he could run 100 yards in under 10 seconds as fast as any halfback. That's what made him so tough, because you had to set your defense to stop Jimmy Brown. And if you didn't stop him, you lost the game. It was that simple. But you're not going to stop him forever. When he made up his mind to do it, he was going to do it. You couldn't knock him off his feet.
Brown was not the beautiful runner. He was a power runner. But in the end, his power was beautiful to watch. His achievements loom larger considering that he ran against defenses working almost exclusively to stop him. Each week, Brown was the bullseye in an 11-man target shoot, a marked man, and yet in 9 professional seasons, he never once missed a game.
You know, you would go out there and with 11 guys geared to stop Jim Brown. That's pretty tough for him. You know, you're just almost ignoring everybody else, because a lot of times it takes 5 or 6 guys to get him down. Dick Nolan, who was our defensive safety, little guy, Nolan, we used to call him Sticks. He didn't weigh 180 pounds. He came up and really hit Jim Brown head on and got him. It was some shot. And I came over and I picked Nolan up. And I said, "Hey, Dick, I'm sorry I didn't get there in time, but great tackle. You really got him, And he says, "Great tackle, hell." He says, "I couldn't get out of his way."
I once thought Superman wore an S on his jersey and hung around with Lois Lane, said one opposing coach. Now I know he wears number 32 and plays football in Cleveland.
He was one great player, and when we drafted him, I thought he was going to be a great back. It turns out that, for my money, he's the greatest running back of all time.
He recognized my talent, recognized my speed and quickness, and after one exhibition game, he decided I was his fullback. He told me that, and he must have knew a little bit about me, because that was what really inspired me. All he had to do was tell me that I was his man, and I would then do the rest of the work.
The rest of the work was considerable. Brown gained over 12,000 yards in only 9 seasons, and he won the NFL rushing title an incredible 8 times. He remains the only man in NFL history to average more than 100 yards per game for every game he played, a feat all the more remarkable considering he was the sole focus of every team's defense. It's no wonder that among the great defensive players of his era, Brown had nothing but admirers.
I don't think that anybody really too often gets a good, clean shot at Jimmy Brown. And when you do, you just give it a little bit extra, as hard as you can, maybe thinking, I'm just liable to hit him hard enough, maybe I could put him out of the game or something. By that time, you just feel, well, I might as well help him up, but it's not too often that you do it. When you gang tackled him, when you gave him those extracurriculars, unlike some of the ball players that get a frothing from the mouth and obscene language, you dirty this and that, I'll get you, and you this and you that, Jimmy would get up off the ground slowly, look at you and kind of say, hi, go back to that huddle slowly, and he just kept coming. He had a sight for that goal line. When he was within a yard or two away from it, he could see it, and brother, he made every effort. It was just like an elephant or a bull just giving that extra little bit of something, and you talk about dragging people. I think he dragged more people from the 2-yard line in than any person I ever saw in my life. You get a good angle on Jimmy, hit stop, and then suddenly go against the grain, which is unique and unusual for a man that size. And away he goes.
Brown's brilliance on the field was in sharp contrast to his withdrawn, sometimes moody personality. His critics said he was standoffish toward his teammates and that he wouldn't have done nearly as well against today's stronger defenses. Brown answered his critics when it mattered most, on game day.
I played 9 seasons, I never missed a game, and I never laid out on the football field. Guys now accept the fact that they can be hurt slightly, run off the field, get themselves together, and come back. I might not have the greatest ability of everybody, but the one thing that stands is that when it was time to play, I was there.
Jim Brown is no longer pro football's all-time leading rusher. But then, numbers are not the true measure of this man's talents. Brown was, quite simply, the greatest runner ever to play in the NFL. And that's what will always be remembered.